All right, so this project is going to be using 1-point perspective, and this is my introduction of what 1-point perspective is and how to create it. 1-point perspective is where you are looking at an artwork or an image and all of the objects are directed toward one point. So if you look at this train track drawing, that one point where everything is kind of heading towards would be the end of the train tracks. And that point is called the vanishing point. So every 1-point perspective artwork that you create is going to have a vanishing point. It's also going to have a horizon line. Your vanishing point is always on the horizon line. Your horizon line might not be visible, like in this artwork, we can just barely see the horizon line where that vanishing point hits, but there's always a horizon line. So as you can see, when you have a vanishing point, all of the vertical lines are directed toward the vanishing point. So you can see that all of these lines on the fence, on the train tracks, they are all headed towards the vanishing point. You also have some more implied lines that are directed towards the vanishing point. So you can see if you look up on the hills, you have trees there, and those are also kind of on a slope, a slant headed toward the vanishing point. All of the horizontal lines are perfectly straight. They are not directed towards the vanishing point. And I'm going to explain that a little more in the next image. Vertical lines that are what you would say along the walls are also not directed towards the vanishing point. So where is the vanishing point in this picture? Follow the lines and see where they go. Right there, end of the hallway. All right, here is an artwork. I don't remember the name of it, but can you find the vanishing point? Look for the lines in the image. Where are they directed toward? Right there. There are lines. We also have lines in the ceiling that you can kind of see in the arches. And then from this image I'm going to show you, you can kind of imagine that each section of this artwork is either a floor, a wall, or a ceiling. So we have two walls on the right and left, and then we have a floor on the bottom, ceiling on the top. Our vertical lines are directed toward the vanishing point unless they are on a wall. So our wall lines, the pink ones, are straight up and down. And then we have horizontal lines, which are obviously just plain horizontal. They're not directed toward any vanishing point. But our vertical lines that would be on the floor or the ceiling, I didn't add any in the ceiling, are directed toward the vanishing point. Now this is a famous artwork by Leonardo da Vinci. It's called The Last Supper. And in this artwork, if you can't find the vanishing point, one way you can find it is to start tracing the angle of any line that you find. So here I've added, I looked at the angle of the tapestries, and I can tell that's kind of an implied line. It's not just a straight line connected, but you can see that there's lines on the top of each tapestry. And so I traced those, followed them through, and where they meet, that is your vanishing point. Another way you can use vanishing points. So here our vanishing point is in the middle of this room. It's where our eyes are directed. I traced the top and bottom of the walls to find your floor, walls, and ceiling. But then we also have this little room off to the side. So if I take the walls of that room, I have my back wall, which is the square in this first room, and then it's a rectangle in the second room. So those are straight because it's the back wall. But the side walls are also directed towards the vanishing point. And then our vertical lines and horizontal lines, oops, I didn't do the vertical ones. The horizontal lines all the way across on your flat planes, so your back wall and your front wall are flat. And then this is just a little drawing of vanishing point, back wall, floor, ceiling, walls, walls, walls,